in comparison with Windows 8, but 8.1 update got rid of all those bottlenecks, and now the new updates are made Windows 8.1 the fastest, really, so we can actually get a performance upgrade now. Ooh, I like the sound of that. If you have a Windows tablet, you'll be good with it. On a desktop, just some minor stuff Microsoft is gonna fix. I really like touchscreens. Like, I noticed that future Rank 1 baby Neo likes touchscreens, so he wants to see more touchscreens. Windows 8 is really built for that, I think. Zimvoodoo wants to run a VPN to my house and borrow my render farm. Dude, my render farm isn't even that great. It's pretty small. And you know what you gotta do? I'll tell you what you gotta do. If you want a render farm, you gotta find a way to infiltrate your university computers and get access to as many of them as possible and use the university LAN network to do a render farm. I know they've got that kind of shit going on over there. You just gotta you gotta know the right people. You gotta be outgoing, get to know the right people, meet some people, meet the IT guys who are in charge, meet the geek who runs that render farm, and befriend him or her, and take them for coffee, butter them up, say, you know, I really wish I had access to a render farm. Something like that, I don't know. With a little bit of effort, you can probably achieve a really, really epic university render farm. I'm sure they've got some badass computers, and I'm sure everybody wants access to them as well, so it's probably hard, but you can do it. I know you can do it, I believe in you. Okay, I don't like that text, so I'm deleting it. Deleted! Deleted. I hate you and I'm mad at you. Damn you. We'll see if the animated version actually pans out the way it is supposed to. Here's a little trick I'm about to tell you. If you guys use Twixtor, I'm going to save you a lot of pain. JWG says, Sai, you can set up a peer network to build a render farm. A peer network. How do we do this? How do we do this? I want to do this. Here's the thing I noticed. Here's a problem. Yes, the problem is download speed. Upload speed actually is a problem. Download speed is very fast, right? Everybody has a fast download. But the upload speed is the problem if you're doing a wide area network render farm. If your render farm is inside your house and you have a gigabit Ethernet, well then, you know, the network speed is not going to be really that much of a bottleneck. If at all, it's probably not going to be any bottleneck at all with gigabit. The problem is if you go over the wide area network. So let's say a project that I'm doing right here has the entire Orgrimmar as a texture. And so when the computer needs those textures, it's going to try to send them to the other computers in the render farm. Now all of a sudden you're transferring gigabytes and gigabytes of data. Also for caching, global illumination and ambient occlusion, those Cinema 4D will cache those. So that cache, depending on how you cache it, can be also gigabytes, at least hundreds of megabytes or gigabytes of information that each computer has to share with each other over the network for network rendering. So this is really bad news bears for WAN, and just simply doesn't work. I've tested it. Just doesn't work. Now it does work for a really simple project. Let's say like particles. Maybe you just have Cinema 4D and you want to generate 2 million particles or something, and it takes a long time to render. Well, then that is a perfect scenario for a group of wide area network computers because they don't have to transfer any data to each other. They already have the project file. The project file is the only file. So yeah, there you go. There's some tests for you so that you know large materials files will kill wide area network render farming. Oh yeah, I was going to give a little tip on Twixtor. Here's what you got to do at Twixtor. If you ever split a file or duplicate a file, you have to go up here. Oh, what did I do? I think I did something bad. What did I do? Okay. You have to go here to the source control and make sure the right layer is selected. If you duplicate, right now it's layer 3. I actually have to change that. A little bit tedious, but sometimes if you duplicate files, you don't know why you broke your shit. That's how you fix it. JWG says they have software to handle render farms over a wide network. It can be done. I know it can be done. I do it. I'm just saying it won't work very well because you have to transfer all the data to all of the computers in the network. And if your render software is really smart, actually, you have to have a well-designed project file. So in SN4D, you have relative paths and absolute paths. And if your project for some reason has absolute paths in the materials, then that would be really, really bad, because then every time the other computers request that file, they'll request the absolute network path, and that'll take up more bandwidth. But if they're relative paths, because you saved your materials correctly, then all you have to do is transfer all of the materials over to each computer in the render farm, and then each computer will just work on those local materials. So yes, it does work, but smedge. Okay, I'll take a look at that, because the other day I was looking. I'm interested in other render farm software, but I don't know if there's any software that is as powerful as the one that I'm using. Oh yeah, smedge. I've seen this one. Yeah. This looks really cool. There's one I wanted to try. It was render. What was it called? It had a cool name. How much is smedge? If you want to buy it, $30 per engine, $150 per engine. Ooh, seems expensive. Oh, you use smedge? Ooh, awesome. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I haven't tried any other ones except for ThinkBox Deadline. People were saying Deadline was very powerful, but I don't know. No, Zimvudo, please don't tell me you got a Mac. No, don't tell me you got a Mac. No, why would you do that? Why would anybody ever get a Mac, ever? They're too expensive. And they get outdated. Windows machines don't get outdated. They never do. I have a Windows machine from 1999, and I can still install Windows 7 on it. It's not a good thing to try. Don't ever try to install Windows 7 on a computer from 1999, ever. But the thing is, I can. You couldn't install the newest version of Mac OS on a Mac from 2 years ago. Because you have to buy a new Mac to run the newest software. A whole new Mac. Shit. Couldn't you... Macs... Yeah. Oh no, don't even get me started. I'm just going to shut my mouth right there. I'm not going to say one word. My blood pressure's like... Max! Like that. Like enraged, like in WoW. Like when the boss goes to enrage. When I think about what Macs do to your pocketbook, my blood pressure goes in rage mode. No, JWG, don't do that. Just don't do it. Just custom build your PC and you'll be very, very happy. Don't try to install Mac on a PC, and don't try to install Windows on a Mac. Just build an Intel machine, and you'll be very happy. Somebody was trying to tell me on my PC build video the other day to build also install Mac, to do a Hackintosh, basically build install Mac OS. Well, not a Hackintosh because it's a PC, but he said install Mac OS and Linux and Windows on the machine. I was like, that's a pretty good idea, but I didn't really have any need for Mac. And I have bought Mac software recently. I bought a couple of licenses for Adobe After Effects for Mac. Adobe After Effects CC, I think. Or CS6 rather. For Mac about a year or two ago. Rivio says, signups, give me your phone number. Really? Why? You guys want to call me and send me lewd messages? Skarak says, signups, 2 questions. Will you send me a Twitch message when my intro is finished? And second, what is the font of the name in my intro? I'll have to look those up. Here's what you got to do, Skarax, before I forget. Send me a Twitch message. Just send me any message at all so that I can reply to you. And that will make sure that I have your name right there to reply to you right away, so that when the render is done, then I can send you the link, and I'll send you a link to download it. I'll send you a Dropbox link. I'll upload your intro to Dropbox, and I'll send you the link. You download it high speed, and I'll send you the font. Yeah, so send me a message, say what is the font, and I'll send you all the info with your intro to your Twitch account. Fiery Farmer says, can you show the intro? Yes, I'll show it to you. And I mean, really, if you like Macs, I don't mean to be a douchebag. Yeah, some people really like Macs, so I get that. They are very comfortable. You can really get in your comfort zone with Macs. Oh, one thing I didn't mention was I actually grew up on Macs. I've had a lot of Macs. The first Mac I had was the Mac LC2. I don't know if you remember that, but it was the next model up from that really old Mac, like the Mac 2 or whatever. Like it was a little box, like that big, this little tiny thing. So I had the Mac LC2, and then I had like a Mac Quadra, and then I had the G3 and the G4. I don't know how I got my hands on those, but I ended up getting my hands on a G3, a G4, and they were good. Well, they were good, but I had to throw them away. I had to throw them out because at the end of the day, they became really big paperweights, and they couldn't keep up with, as any computer, it gets outdated, of course. But the older ones, and it was even worse. They're getting a little bit better now. I think people are complaining, but the old ones were bad. You couldn't upgrade them to a certain Mac OS, and they just wouldn't do it because they were using the old processor architecture. They weren't using Intel's yet with the G3 and the G4. Maybe the later G4 series started using Intel, so you couldn't run a lot of OSs, and they were very frustrating. Right now, well, I threw it out, but I had a G4 computer that weighed like 50, 60 pounds, and I couldn't do a damn thing with it. It was a piece of shit. But of course, all old computers, they go bad and whatever. Let me pre-render this and see. You can check it out a little bit and let me know what you think. And we got to figure out what has to be fixed, because the last part, I'm at the end. Now, what needs to be done at the very end? I don't know. I think, building PCs, I found that you can, when you build PCs,